Hello, 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 and welcome to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk, powered by Fairway. I am your co-host, Andy Kretzinger, and the reason I say I'm only your co-host is because we got another one sitting right across from me. You're about to see his face right now. Hunter Muller, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. We got Alex Snyder on the ones and twos.
This is really far away from me. I'm doing pretty good.
How's yes. We are here to talk high school sports. This will be a Taylor Swift free segment for all the people that are tired of Taylor Swift ruining.
I was listening to some Taylor Swift after that game.
Oh, I guess we're all into it then. Well, this won't be a Taylor Swift free segment. Here's a little fun fact. Do you know that the dude that was in the You Belong to Me video was born on August 10th, 1990?
Really?
And who else was born on August 10th, 1990?
Me.
Really?
Oh.
That would have been crazy if it was Alex. That would have been I knew you're younger than me. It's actually me, so it could have been me.
Oh.
Yeah. Butterfly.
That would have been.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah, that would have been pretty crazy.
Taylor Swift would probably be sitting right here.
Age?
I'd be at the Chiefs game. What?
Are you the same age as him?
I'm the exact same age to the day, August 10th, 1990. The dude that was in the You Belong to Me video. Yeah. Yeah. Now you guys all know. Anyway, we're going to talk some high school sports. We're going to start with Mr. Hunter. It was a big day in high school football. Spoiler alert, big school-wise, wasn't the most positive scores of the year so far. But we had a homecoming celebration in Mount Pleasant. My house, which resides in Mount Pleasant, was TP'd pretty good.
So
so
knows
Hunter,
where you live.
Hunter, how'd the game go? They played top 10 team, Mount Vernon.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this one, it was obviously this is just the way the district plays out. This is one of the probably one of the best teams that Mount Pleasant will take on all season. The other being Davenport Assumption, who checking the rankings was like in the top 5 now. Mount Vernon was number 2 the week prior to playing Mount Pleasant, but got beat by Solon. Big upset there, so they dropped down to number 8. Nevertheless, 2022 state runners up, and I mean they really just the Mustangs kind of proved why they were inside the top 10 and in the championship game a year ago. They returned some great players from that team, so pretty dominant performance from Mount Vernon, 76-14 over the Panthers. And obviously, it's kind of Mount Pleasant's been trying to kind of find its footing, and when you go against a team that's in the top 10, it's always a tough out. But really, Mount Vernon, I mean, right out the gate, they kind of showed what they were all about. They scored within 20 seconds, got the ball first, scored on a 53-yard touchdown. Joey Romberg is their all-state quarterback. That was kind of led them to the championship game a year ago. So he threw a 53-yard touchdown pass to Jace Jaspers, first play, the second play of the game, and then Mount Pleasant's first drive turned into a pick 6. So really, it was 14-0. Really, just about a minute into the game, and when you go down 14-0 against a great team, just that quick, it's
you're
not
playing from behind already.
Yeah, and then. Really, it just kind of went downhill from there. Mount Pleasant threw 3 pick 6s in this game. In that first quarter alone, they had a punt blocked on their next drive. That was recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. And by the end of the first quarter, it was 35-0 Mount Vernon, and really they kept the varsity in through the second quarter. So they scored another 27 in that second quarter. So they led 62-0 at the half. It took out the dogs in the second half, and it was a lot closer. Mount Pleasant was able to get some momentum. We saw Peyton Walker hit Payson Coleman for a 75-yard touchdown in the third quarter there, and then those two connected once again late in the game. From about 30 yards out, gave the Panthers 14 points. A nice little showing though from Peyton Walker on the ground. Obviously, as we've seen him take over the quarterback position, 133 rushing yards, along with those 2 passing touchdowns. So, valiant effort. They never kind of you never saw them like put their head down. So you got to give them credit where credit's due about that, because as we mentioned, it's tough to play a top 10 team. It was crazy just because they were just so big. Like,
yeah, I bet.
I mean, it was like a junior college team was walking out on the field against the Panthers there. So a tough loss for them, but
it's always really big.
Yeah, really, really, really stout team. So
that's 2 touchdowns for a homecoming king, Payson Coleman, by the way.
So
and homecoming king gets 2 touchdowns in the homecoming game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and who will the Panthers be playing? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to read another stats. Peyton Walker actually had 147 yards rushing there, and then Payson Coleman with 105 yards receiving on those two catches, those two big catches there. So, and then Jared Dorothy led in tackles, 5.5. Yeah.
There we go. Well, I was going to say Mount Pleasant is playing Washington this weekend. There'll be two teams that need to wipe away the week before. I was down in Keokuk for Washington's football game. And we knew Keokuk was pretty darn good. You know, they beat Fairfield pretty well the week before. And Keokuk 47, Washington 0. This thing was all Keokuk quarterback Brenton Horde. He does a lot with his legs. He actually only ran for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Though that was in the first quarter, and then that opened up the passing game. And Keokuk has so many weapons. They're flying all over the field. Washington's all banged up. Keokuk was up 14-0 after the first, 33-0 at halftime. There was a blackout at halftime. The second half ended, the lights went out, so there was a delay on the third quarter, and then they scored a couple touchdowns in the third and fourth. Keokuk put on quite the fireworks show after the game. Which
you tell me that
because it's homecoming, so obviously Keokuk likes to shoot off a firework after each one.
Mm-hmm.
But they started going off, and I was like, "Oh, they're shooting them when they win too." I swear, like 175 fireworks went off in a row. It was like a 2-minute show. It was just kind of funny. But so hey, shout out to whoever's supplying those fireworks. I guess it's legal now, but back in the day, Keokuk's right there next to the border. They could go down to Fireworks World and get some fireworks. Anyway,
there you go.
Logan McDowell only threw for 42 yards. 23 of those were on a reception to Luke Beanblossom. Cale Williams ran for 60 yards on 13 attempts, so not too bad on the ground there, but they had to pass because they were playing behind just like Mount Pleasant was. And Alec Hewlin had 9 tackles to lead the Demons, who are now 1-4. That was the first time Keokuk has beaten Fairfield since 2016. So Keokuk has beaten Washington since 2016. Last year, the Demons won on a bat away on a 2-point conversion, I believe, at a big thrilling game. And the 6 or so before that, Washington scored, I think, at least 45 in every single one. So, but tough week for Washington. Now Washington and Mount Pleasant get to play each other, and they're both trying to wipe away last week, so they're both a little banged up. And that'll be homecoming for Washington. So happy homecoming in to the Demon fans.
Yeah, let's jump into some Fairfield. Obviously, kind of a tough, you mentioned at the start, tough week for our big school teams here. Fairfield, much like Mount Pleasant, playing on a team that's just was in the rankings earlier, and now they're just one spot out this week of the rankings. So holding that number 11 spot is Benton. They played Mount Vernon pretty close. I think it was a 19-7 game when those two played. So that kind of shows that, Benton's right up there with some of the best teams in 3A. Fairfield was in it for after the first quarter. It was just 3-0. The Bobcats there really opened it up in the second quarter there. Benton scored 21 on it. I guess it'd be 24 unanswered by that point, but 21 points in that second quarter there. Fairfield just couldn't find kind of a rhythm on offense, find the means to put points on the board, and Benton went on to score 14 between the third and fourth quarter there for a 38-0 win. Benton over Fairfield there, so another kind of tough week, and our teams are getting to play some tough competition. And once I get into the rankings, I'll read off some of our, I guess, the other districts, district rankings of Class 3A, because obviously Fairfield next week, it doesn't get any easier because they host number 1 Williamsburg, who is beating some of the best teams in the entire state, not just in Class 3A this season. So really, really tough, another tough matchup for them.
Yeah, Fairfield's got one of those middle of the year, just brutal schedules.
Yeah.
That's what the heck? Oh, sorry, I was sharing our live stream and it said that we were an 8-hour show on Facebook.
Nice.
Anyway, Fairfield's got a brutal middle schedule.
Yep.
Our big school teams did not get any breaks with their districts. So,
no.
Pretty tough. But we did have some wins, and we'll get to those after this commercial break. We'll talk about some big wins, actually, for our small school teams, a couple of exciting ones, a couple teams that look like they are on the road to the playoffs. So come back with us on Mount Pleasant, Washington, Fairfield Live, Facebook, watching live YouTube.
Spotify.
And Spotify. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
When you aspire to be a dancer, you are both an artist and an athlete. Your strength combines with beauty and grace seamlessly. Your efforts result in enhanced coordination, the ability to cooperate and compromise with others, and the confidence to perform in front of an audience. Not to mention the fun you will have and the lifelong friendships you will develop. We are enrolling now for fall classes, and we would love to see you shine like the star that you are. Join us for Dance and Tumbling at Stairway to the Stars. Please visit our website for online registration.
I am Melissa Westfall with Homegirl Realty. Heather and Charlotte and I have worked together for many years, and we have always had a vision to have a business together.
I'm Charlotte Howard, and the good news is we bring a very high level of experience. We have a combined 80 plus years of experience in this real estate marketplace.
I'm Heather Merrick, and Homegirl Realty brings a lot of things to the table. We have phenomenal communication with our clients, buyers and sellers, to make sure things are going smoothly and you don't have anything to worry about.
Hello again. We are here, Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk live. We are powered by Fairway, and our energy level is at like 100, right, Hunter?
I'm feeling great.
Definitely. I'm feeling great. I had some Cheerios. Hunter had some donuts for breakfast this morning. And Alex,
breakfast of
what you got
champions.
for breakfast today?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Oh man,
That's
he's.
You got the rest of these Cheerios?
No thanks.
All right. We are going to talk a little bit more football. We're going to talk football. We're going to talk football until spring. We used to talk it back when Wesley had soccer going around this time. That's what football is.
Man, what a sad time.
That is. Why did I got to do that?
Yeah, why'd you have to mention that?
Anyway, football roundup. So we're going to start things out with some first-time winners. Winners. I'm going to go through it quick. New London, 1 week off of a forfeit, beats HLV 36-28. They actually scored 36 straight points after a couple of touchdowns by the Warriors. Michael Raines, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 receiving. The Cardinal Comets won their first game of the year, 18-13 at home. Trailed 7-0 early. Ended up they did have a 2-possession lead late. Colfax Mingo scored in the fourth quarter to cut that back to 5, and Cardinal rumbled for 238 yards on the ground. Waco, who, spoiler alert, we'll talk little rankings with Hunter after this. All over Easton Valley, 56-14. Loudon Housingay, he went for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Reese Oswald found the end zone 3 times. Currently second-ranked Winfield Mount Union, 76-6 winners over English Valley. English Valleys. That's pretty tough. Easton Valley and English Valleys.
Always mess that up.
Put them right back to back, too. The Wolves, which I stinking spelled the word wolves wrong in my roundup story that I'm just realizing now. Put up 46 in the first quarter. They actually scored the first 76 of the game. English Valley scored later on. But Camp Buffington, 113 and 2 scores. Cole Milks, 42 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's been finding the end zone a lot here recently. And Milks actually caught a touchdown pass, too, as did Carter Lloyd and Abram Edwards. Nice picture from Dana Royer of Abram Edwards catching. I believe this might be his touchdown, because he seems to be pretty close to the end zone. He had, I think, 2 or 3 catches and only went for one for a touchdown. But Dana Royer sent us a cool picture of Abe catching that. Sigourney Keota and Pleasantville went into overtime. Yep. Sigourney Keota wins 31-24. They were in overtime. Sigourney scored. It seemed like Pleasantville had scored to tie the game. They called maybe a hold or a block on the back or something, and then they proceeded to give them a couple of unsportsmanlike penalties. So Pleasantville was playing all the way outside the 30, I think, and couldn't score. So Sigourney Keota clings on. They got Pella Christian this week. Another, man, talk about a tough schedule, but Sigourney has been doing pretty well.
I heard that game was, I heard Sigourney Keota was down quite a bit in that game, had to come back in the fourth there. And I think they scored with under a minute to go.
Yeah, they were down 18-7 and they had to rally right back at the last second to tie it. By the way, Kale Clarahan, 116 and a touchdown. Jake Moore, 2 touchdowns. Mid Prairie has been rolling 42-7. Another 40-plus performance for the Golden Hawks. They ran for 267 yards and 4 touchdowns. Hudson Ehrenfeld ran for 153 and a score. Landry Gingrich was 64 and a touchdown, and a 74-yard pick 6 from Dylan Henry. So the defense scored there for Mid Prairie as well. Van Buren County all over Louisa Muscatine, 41-6. Remember a few weeks ago when they were 0-2? They are now 3-2, above 500 team, Van Buren County.
Yeah.
How about this one? Number 7, Lisbon, went into Pekin. You know, Pekin had a lot of trouble with Columbus a couple weeks ago, and maybe it was even a week ago. And the Panthers held Lisbon. It was 17-7 Lisbon was the final in this thing.
Wow.
And yeah, I know. It was 10-7 Lisbon after 3 quarters. The Lions were able to put up a touchdown to kind of put the nail in the coffin a little bit late in that game, but Pekin almost pulls off that upset.
Pekin's up and coming, man.
Yeah, Pekin, and they're, Will Adams, who's only a junior, 118 yards, passing, 74 yards and a score. Rushing, Declan Hampton caught 4 passes for 79 yards. Pekin is one of those teams where they have shown that the Columbus game was almost just maybe a bad matchup for them because they've crushed teams that seem to be below them talent-wise, and the teams that are really good they seem to hang with. Columbus 55-0 at Highland this weekend. Wildcats all over Highland. I think they had went back and forth year for year until this year on that rivalry for the last 4 or 5. Columbus went for 430 yards, 7 touchdowns. Riley Kalberg alone went for 255 yards and 3 scores. I think he maybe had 6 or 7 touches on the ground. He just he scores every time. Caden Amagon, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I'll just give it to those 2 guys and let them run all over everybody. So that is your small school roundup. For the day, you've got some rankings. We've got some breaking news on the rankings.
Not much had changed from a week ago. Obviously, Winfield Mount Union, and we're coming off the Cedar Rapids Gazette poll. That's what we use. So Winfield Mount Union still number 2 in the 8-player rankings. Obviously, Gladbrook, Ryan Beck still holding on to that number 1 position there. Waco re-enters the 8-player rankings. Last week they were 1 spot out at number 11, if you will, but after big win over Easton Valley, the Warriors are back in at number 10 in Class 1A. We mentioned last week Sigourney Keota moved up 2 spots to the week prior. So 2 weeks ago they were number 10. They were number 8 last week. They're back to number 10. And they play Pella Christian. As we mentioned, Pella Christian is in that next spot in.
Yep.
So the rankings will be shaken up there for sure, whatever the outcome that one is. Whatever the outcome of that one is. And then I just want to go up here to 3A to look at our kind of big schools district. Obviously we mentioned Williamsburg's number 1 in Class 3A. Fairfield gets them Davenport Assumption, number 3. Mount Pleasant, Washington will have to square off against them at one point in time, and then
back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, and then Mount Vernon obviously played Mount Pleasant this last Friday here, and they're number 6. And it doesn't stop there. Solon, who beat Mount Vernon, is also in that. No, they're in Fairfield's district. Solon is in Fairfield's district, and they come in at number 7. So, and then Benton Community is number 11. I mentioned that earlier too. So, it seems like every, I mean, I don't even know what more to say besides, it kind of hurts to look at those 4 teams there or 5 teams there and be like, wow, those teams have to play
our teams.
Yeah. So, pretty stacked district for Fairfield, Mount Pleasant, Washington, but. Yeah, not much change from the rankings. Waco entering back in. Sigourney Kyoto dropping 2 spots, and then Winfield still sitting with number 2.
And then, so the Iowa High School Association also did their rankings. We will use our rankings, the Gazette rankings, which yours truly votes in. So hopefully Winfield fans won't be very upset because they were number 1 in the Iowa High School Athletic Association rankings, which will play a little more factor in the seeding. I mean, between number 1 and number 2 with. They want you to play close games in the playoffs and stuff like that, like close teams. So I'm not sure if it'll end up being a huge deal, but yeah, their rankings were out. I was going to read off more of those if I could find them. But Winfield Union was number 1 in that. I could have swore it was going to be. Here it is. I got him.
You got it.
I got him. Class 8-man. So the big school rankings aren't out yet. Winfield number 1. And Gladbrook, who's number 1 in the Gazette rankings, is right behind them. And then Waco is number 10 in that one. Central City number 7, a team that Winfield beats. So they've beaten 2 top 10 teams in those rankings. Class A, Columbus is not in there. Class 1A, Sigourney Kyoto is not in there. Disrespect. Anyway, that's it for the rankings portion of this. We got some volleyball to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to wait till the next commercial break. We're going to hit you with some volleyball, Super Conference tournament in the past, SEC tournament coming up.
Yep.
So we will be back in about, 2 or 3 minutes, Alex? Something like that. Happy birthday to Serena Williams, by the way.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
At 5 Star Community Credit Union, we want to help you lead a better life. We offer competitive rates and convenient appointment times for all kinds of loans: auto, recreational vehicles, home equity line of credit, holiday, and personal loans. We make it easy to build your credit and enjoy the good things in life.
We invite you to join 5 Star Community Credit Union. We are community-minded and member-focused. Come visit our locations in West Burlington and Mount Pleasant or online at 5starcu.org. Federally insured through the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Brown Shoe Fit, we pride ourselves on traditional sit and fit service that's been serving the Mount Pleasant area since 1952. At Brown's, we have shoes for the whole family. From kids to adults, we carry the finest footwear for every occasion. Whether you're looking for something for work, casual wear, or exercise, we've got you covered. And don't forget about our selection of safety toe footwear for both men and women. Come visit us 6 days a week and experience the best in traditional sit and fit service. Brown Shoe Fit, where quality and tradition meet.
Halloween is just around the corner, and what a better way to celebrate than visit two of Iowa's most thrilling Halloween attractions, Thresher's House of Terror and Midwest Haunted Rails. Brace yourselves for an unforgettable experience as you enter Thresher's House of Terror, filled with the spooky surprises at every corner. You'll encounter every nightmare you've ever had. And for a family-friendly Halloween treat, ride the Midwest Haunted Rails, screaming down the tracks in Mount Pleasant, Iowa.
Welcome back to Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk, the only non-Taylor Swift talking sports show in the universe, except we just talked about her, and also your number one YouTube show on. Aren't we the number one YouTube show on Washington Live and Mount Pleasant Live? Yeah,
there we go.
The number one. You know who else has been number one on YouTube?
Who's that?
Like a lot of people who are now really rich. We are powered by the Fairway Food Stores. Did you get those donuts at Fairway?
Huh?
What?
No.
You should have. They would taste a lot better. And we are also powered by all the sponsors you see down here. Right there.
I wish we'd smash that like button.
Yeah, smash that like button, subscribe button, share button.
You just like all the YouTubers.
Everything button. Smash it. Not the dislike button, I guess, or the block button or report button. Don't smash those ones.
If you want to.
Unless you want to. I mean, we can't.
We can't stop you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll track down your IP address and ban you from all our platforms.
Man.
All right, we're going to talk about some volleyball. A little bit of volleyball.
Yeah.
You know what I was at on Thursday?
Where were you? I was sick.
Oh, yeah, you were sick. Yeah, Hunter got sick, couldn't go to, you were going to go watch S Super Conference volleyball in Columbus.
I thought I was going to die.
I was traveling for a little bit of Super Conference tournament action this weekend. And we had two finalists in the Super Conference finals. So this is how the SEISC volleyball tournament goes. You get into 4 pools. Top 2 from every pool get pushed into an 8-team tournament. We had 2 quarterfinalists, Van Buren County and Winfield Mount Union. Van Buren was in Columbus as the 6th seed overall in the tournament. And they went 2-0. They beat Columbus 21-12 and 21-14. And Hillcrest Academy 21-10 and 21-17. Winfield Mount Union finished second in Pool 1 in Danville. WMU over Danville in 2, 21-16, 21-19. Kelly Milks had 7 kills in that one. And Lone Tree, W over Lone Tree 21-17, 21-5. Audrey Gipple with 3 kills in that one. But Van Buren County and Winfield both lost one game. Which put them in kind of the bottom seeds in the quarterfinals. Van Buren County played Notre Dame pretty good in the second set. Lost 21-14, 22-20. And Winfield Mount Union fell to West Burlington. And their only loss, Holy Trinity, and their only loss in Pool 2. And so they played pretty good teams. Van Buren County fell to Central Lee in the quarterfinals. And WMU fell to West Burlington. Winfield's actually their only 2 losses for Winfield Mount Union were the two teams ended up playing in the finals because West Burlington over Holy Trinity Catholic.
2-0.
2-0. I would have thought going into this year the Holy Trinity was going to win that Super Conference tournament. But West Burlington, the Super Conference champions of 2023. A few other teams got wins. You know, New London had been struggling to get wins. They actually won. The pool that I was physically at was the Central Lee. The Pool 4 at Central Lee, there were 5 teams in that pool as opposed to the 4 in the other pools. And 3 teams ended up with 3 wins. One of those was New London.
Wow.
They beat Waco. I believe they beat Wapello. And they beat Louisa Muscatine. Sorry, Central Lee, Waco, and Louisa Muscatine. So they had beat a semifinalist even in Central Lee. But the tiebreaker, New London was 3rd in. So they didn't get to go to the tournament. So that was tough. Waco had 1 win in pool play. Let's see here. Highland had a win in pool play over Pekin. Columbus beat Hillcrest in 3 in pool play. So those were teams that got wins, didn't make the finals over there at SCC. So that is a little bit of a teaser ahead of the small school volleyball brackets and all that stuff should be coming out. And a little momentum for Van Buren and Winfield Mount Union. And we have a little SEC volleyball tonight, Hunter.
Yes, we do.
Let me tell you about the SEC volleyball standings going to tonight. Tonight in the Southeast Conference, this is the last day of league play before the tournament. So what happens in the SEC is everyone plays each other once in the regular season. All that does is seeds the conference tournament, which is the conference championship. So no matter, you could go undefeated in the regular season, get the 1 seed. If you don't win the conference tournament, you're not considered Southeast Conference.
And this race is pretty wild.
Champions, it sure is. We actually have a matchup of the last 3 Southeast Conference championships tonight in Fairfield is Mount Pleasant, who won in 2020 and 2021, will take on Fairfield, the defending SEC champions. Fairfield has a 3-1 conference record. If they beat Mount Pleasant tonight, they will be the number 1 seed in the tournament. That doesn't matter for hosting. It'll be in Fort Madison and Washington no matter what. But it matters for seeding, and they try and rig it to where the number 1 and number 2 teams play.
Right.
The idea is that they'll be in the championship together. That doesn't always happen. In fact, in 2021, I remember Mount Pleasant won, but they weren't in the last game, and so they were just sitting and cheering for Madison to lose in order to win the championship. It was kind of funny. They'll play Mount Pleasant, who's the only 1-3 team. Every other team is 2-2. Washington plays Keokuk. That one is at Keokuk, I do believe. And Fort Madison plays Burlington. So basically, if Fairfield wins, they'll get the 1 seed, and they'll have to use a tiebreaker to figure out the 2 seed. And if Mount Pleasant beats Fairfield, then it's just chaos, basically, because that's a 3-2 Fairfield team, and there'll be 2 other 3-2 teams. So yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff today, Hunter.
Yeah, and it's been, I would say, I mean, I wasn't here in 2020, but I would say like this has been, I guess, the most competitive the SEC has been in a while. I mean, like if you look at the matchups this season, there's been so many like that have went to a 5th set.
Yes.
Like I watched Fairfield and Burlington go to a 5th set. I watched Burlington and Washington go to a 5th set. It's like I feel like every game I've been to, it's been like went to a 5th set, and it's usually been our team that's went up, got on top, and then I mean, I guess that was just Fairfield and Burlington, where Fairfield won 2 straight, and then Burlington forced a 5th set. So I guess my point is that,
it's actually 1-1 and get 2 fifths.
On any given night, I guess you never know who's gonna pull out the win, because I mean, it's just been so tight.
Yeah, anytime everyone has a win and everyone has a loss after 4 games. Actually, I think I was that way after 2 games. Everyone was 1-1. I've also seen a 5th set. I saw Keokuk over Fairfield in Fairfield in the 5th set. That was Fairfield's only loss this year. And then I saw Fairfield at Washington. Washington dominated the first set, and Fairfield won the next 3. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen. The tournament's going to be fun. I like that. It's better than just like one team stomping through.
Right.
When they first started doing the conference tournament, Fort Madison, Burlington were really, really, really good. And so it was like everyone just plays until the inevitable championship between those two. That was the first year that they did it.
And then Mount Pleasant's been like so close, like it seems like they're like so close every set, and then just like can't get like.
Yeah, that was definitely last year in the tournament. Yeah. This year a little bit too. So exciting SEC volleyball tonight. And you saw a little bit of cross country on Thursday. Wait, is that Thursday or was that Tuesday?
Thursday.
That was last Tuesday. It was a little ways, but can you tell us a little bit about Hunter's very first cross country meet actually covering live?
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about cross country around here, and then who like participated in the meet, you could probably pick out the winners. For the on the boys' side, obviously there was a small school bracket and then a big school bracket. For both the boys and girls. On the boys' side, Washington was a winner with a low of 30 points. And can you go ahead and guess who was the individual champion and led Washington to that first place finish?
I'm gonna guess either Micah Reese or maybe Will Farrell.
Well, you are right. Micah Reese was the meet winner across the tape in 16:29.59 for the win. Their teammate Tyler Alderton's had a real nice year. He's kind of followed right behind Reese in every race. He finished second. There, Mount Pleasant as a team followed in the team standings with 57 points. There, and then Fairfield was 5th with 131 points. Oskaloosa was also in that, Fort Madison and Keokuk as well. On the small school girls side, Well, Mid Prairie was in this one. They take the team title with a low of 16. Can you go ahead and take a guess at who won the small school girls race?
I'm gonna guess it was Danielle Hostetler of Mid Prairie.
Yes, that would be correct. She ran 19:12:31. For both of those runners, it was they came across the finish line, and no one had even hit the turn at Mount Pleasant. You know, they have that kind of long little race to the end there. So yeah, a pretty dominant performance for those two. Let me just run through here with the standings of the teams here. Mount Pleasant, Ben Carthy was the highest placer. He finished 4th. Jude Dykstra took 6th. Locken Henderson 7th. For Fairfield, Nate Conzel was the highest placer. He plays football and runs cross country. Pretty impressive there. 17th place finish for him. Or that's
true?
Lucas. That's Lucas. That's
Lucas
like his
football.
brother. Yeah, that's his brother.
I was like, I don't think that's true.
Well, maybe it's not his brother. Maybe it's his cousin. I shouldn't go on saying that. But
That was good. That was almost good speculation.
yeah, I was like, I saw your face, and I was like, wait.
I don't think that's right at all.
Yeah, that ain't right. Oh, I'm getting the old time, the old watch
Wrap
time
it up
here.
box
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here from Alex.
Yeah, let me run down here. We also had Columbus and Winfield compete in this as well. The Washington girls finished second in the meet. Man, my story is so like discombobulated. But yeah, so I mean, really, the thing you need to know is Mid Prairie girls finished top of the standings there. Washington girls took second, and Iris Dahl was the highest place for them. She ran to a second place finish, just behind Fort Madison's.
Avery Rump.
Yeah, Avery Rump. Great runner there.
Avery Rump's ranked number 2 in the rankings. One little tidbit. I actually was at that game. I was at the cross country meet at the beginning and the end with my kids, and both of my children somehow ran up to both of the winners because my 1-year-old saw Micah Reese right after, and my 5-year-old found Danielle Hostetler in the warm-up. So I saw both the champions. So
There you go.
those guesses were actually educated guesses. I already knew.
Yeah.
Knew 10 times over that they won.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all we got, and we only got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we got a big guest coming. I'm pretty sure that's why we had to go at 10 today. Any guesses on who they got on Mount Pleasant and Washington? Oh, it's going to be Mount Pleasant Live because we're in Mount Pleasant. Got any guesses?
Nope.
I'm just going to throw out some guesses. I'll throw out 5, and then we'll see if I'm right. Probably Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Serena Williams, possibly one of the presidential candidates, or maybe somebody local. Somebody local who's doing something really important. Oh, it's Obama's
Wow.
coming. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm surprised they're not already kicking us out because there's 4 minutes left. They give us this full hour, though. That just shows that only presidents, former presidents, or celebrities whose birthday it is today can bump up Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk. So stick on the Mount Pleasant Live channel, and if you're on the Washington or Fairfield Live channel, flip over. And unless there's Washington Live going live right now.
Oh.
Sweet. Mount Pleasant Live. Let's all find out together who's walking through that door.
Yep.
And as for me, Hunter, Alex, we'll see
Crew.
you. Well, when will we see you?
We'll see you.